All right, let's get right into it. For as long as most of us can remember, the global car industry has been run by the same big names, right? Germany, Japan, the US. But something is happening right now. A shift so big, it's about to completely redraw the map of the entire car world. We are talking about a full-on invasion. You know, for years, that little label, made in China, it might have made you think of something, well, kind of cheap. Maybe a copy of something else. Not exactly top quality. Yeah, you need to throw that whole idea out the window. Because that perception is now totally, dangerously out of date. In the auto world, China isn't just trying to catch up anymore. In a lot of ways, they're already light years ahead. Now, this isn't some crazy hypothetical question about the distant future. This is the question that is literally keeping car executives in boardrooms all over the world awake at night. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how this happens so fast, and more importantly, what it means for the car you'll probably be driving next. So how did this all happen so quickly? I mean, this wasn't some slow, gradual change. It was more like a switch flipped. A single year where the entire balance of power in the auto industry just got turned completely on its head. That year was 2023. It was the moment the numbers just became impossible to ignore. The year the Chinese automotive dragon really woke up and put the entire world on notice. And trust me, the stats are, well, they're staggering. In 2023, China did something many experts thought was impossible. It officially overtook Japan to become the world's #1 exporter of cars. Just pause and think about that for a second. Decades of legendary dominance by giants like Toyota and Honda just gone in a single year. But this takeover wasn't just about the total number of cars. It was about dominating the most important market of the future, electric vehicles. Just look at this slide. In the last 3 months of 2023, the Chinese automaker BYD sold more EVs than Tesla. They actually dethroned the undisputed king of the electric car revolution. So, how did they do it? Well, it really comes down to 2 key strategies. The first secret, it isn't in the shiny paint or the fancy rims. Nope, it's in the very heart of the electric vehicle itself. Because an EV, when you get right down to it, is basically a giant battery on wheels. And whoever controls the batteries controls the future. It's that simple. See, China didn't just build batteries. They got really, really good at a specific kind called LFP. That's lithium iron phosphate. While a lot of Western car makers were chasing these expensive, higher-range battery formulas, China was perfecting LFP. And these have 2 massive game-changing advantages. They are way cheaper to make, and they are a whole lot safer, with a much lower risk of catching fire. And this chart right here, it just visualizes their complete dominance perfectly. China controls around 70% of the entire global EV battery supply chain, from digging the materials out of the ground to the final factory floor. While the rest of the world is scrambling to catch up, China has a stranglehold on the single most critical component. This control is exactly how they can keep their costs so incredibly low. But mastering the hardware, the battery, that was only part 1 of the plan. The second secret is where the traditional automakers were truly caught sleeping. You see, China's tech giants, companies like Huawei and Xiaomi, they jumped into the race, and they weren't thinking like car companies at all. This quote is the absolute perfect way to understand the shift. It's all about the user experience, the software, how everything seamlessly connects. They're designing these things with a tech-first mindset. The car isn't just a machine to get you from A to B anymore. It's a connected device, it's an entertainment hub, it's your personal assistant on wheels. I mean, take autonomous parking. In a lot of these new Chinese models, you can literally get out of the car, just give it a voice command, and the vehicle will find a tight parking spot and maneuver itself in there perfectly. This isn't some crazy expensive luxury feature anymore. It's becoming standard. The level of software and AI they're building in is just astonishing. It's making cars from just a few years ago look like relics from a museum. Okay, so they've got the batteries locked down and the software is next level. So what does the road ahead look like? Well, based on what the experts are saying and the trends we're already seeing, the next few years are going to be even more insane. According to a forecast from the investment bank UBS, by the year 2030, Chinese brands are going to control a staggering 33% of the global car market. Let that sink in. That means 1 out of every 3 new cars sold anywhere in the world will be Chinese. And price is going to be a huge, huge factor. We are on the verge of seeing high-quality, small electric cars sold for under $10,000. Think about that. A price that low doesn't just compete with other new cars, it could completely wipe out the entire market for used gas-powered cars. And the technology is just accelerating. I mean, look at solid-state batteries. That's kind of the holy grail of EV tech, promising way more range and super fast charging. By 2030, we could be looking at cars that can go 1,000 kilometers on a single charge and then recharge in just 5 minutes. And as you can see from this timeline, the plan for global expansion, well, it's already well underway. Now, of course, Western governments see this coming. They're responding with tariffs and trade restrictions to try and protect their own car industries. But the Chinese companies have a very clever countermove. They're just building their factories directly inside Europe and Mexico. This lets them get around those very tariffs and sell their cars as if they were locally produced. So the whole global economic map is being redrawn, and it's being drawn with tires and batteries. Now, this fierce competition is actually really good for us, the people buying the cars, because it pushes technology forward and it drives prices down, which brings this entire global story down to a very, very personal decision for you. So it really all comes down to this. Just imagine two cars sitting side by side. They have the same specs, the same cool tech, the same range. But one of them costs half the price of the other. What do you choose? Does the power of a brand you've known for decades outweigh the pure logic of price and technology? That's the question facing every single car buyer. And the answer is what will decide the future of the road.